Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that might surprise you. When we think about plastic pollution, we usually picture bottles on beaches or trash floating in rivers. But did you know that tiny plastic particles are also falling from the sky into our forests? A new study has shown that forests act like big nets, catching microplastics that drift through the air. Let's explore how it affects the nature and ourselves. First, what are microplastics? They are tiny pieces of plastic, often smaller than a grain of sand. They come from things like packaging, clothing, and car tires. Over time, these plastics break down into smaller and smaller bits. Because they are so light, they can float in the air and travel long distances. Now, a research team from TU Darmstadt in Germany went out to nearby forests and collected soil samples. They wanted to see if microplastics were hiding there. As they looked into it, they found something surprising. Forest soils contain large numbers of microplastic particles. In some places, there were hundreds or even thousands of particles in just 1 kilogram of soil. At certain sites, there were up to 1 million tiny pieces in 1 square meter. That's as much plastic as scientists usually find in busy city soils. So how does this plastic get into forests when there is no littering or fertilizer use there? The answer is the air. The study explains that microplastics first land on the leaves and tree crowns. Scientists call this the comb-out effect because the leaves act like a comb, catching particles from the air. When it rains or when leaves fall in autumn, those particles are washed down to the forest floor. The leaves and other plants on the ground slowly decompose. As they break down, the plastic sinks deeper into the soil. Insects, fungi, and other small organisms help move the particles down. In the end, the soil stores these plastics for a long time. Most of the plastic pieces found were fragments and thin films rather than fibers. Many were smaller than 250 micrometers. That's less than 1/4 of a millimeter. The common types were polypropylene, polyethylene, and polyamide. These are materials used in packaging and clothing. The fact that the same types of plastic were found both on the leaves and in the soil shows that the main source is the atmosphere. Littering and forestry practices add some plastic, but they play a minor role. The researchers also used models to look back in time. They suggest that forests have been quietly collecting microplastics since the 1950s, when plastic production exploded around the world. Decades of steady deposition can explain the large amounts found in soils today. This means that forest soils serve as a record of the plastic age. Forests are already dealing with stress from climate change, and plastic pollution adds another challenge. Well, this study is the first to show clear evidence that forests are major receivers of microplastic pollution. That's it. Also, don't forget to share this video to spread awareness.